Rumi said to Iqbal, I, Rustam, or a Haidar sick. I am sick of snail and I am sick. Rumi says, I want a valiant, brave person like Rustam or Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Muhammad Iqbal uses Ali, Haidar or Haidar Barar to refer to Ali radiallahu ta'ala in his writing. So Rumi says, I am looking for Rustam or Ali, and I am sick of snails and I am sick. Then Iqbal replies, there is none, I said. He shook his head. There is none like them, but I still I see. So Rumi said, I'm still looking for some brave and valiant people. And then Iqbal wrote a poem in 1936. He died in 1938. In that poem, in the very first line, Iqbal said, he addresses the Prophet. O you who are helper of helpless people like us, free this nation from the fear of death. And I saw that freedom from death in the streets of Bangladesh in July 2024. And that's why I believe Iqbal and Nazrul Islam are very relevant to the movement that we all witnessed. Nazrul Islam said in his Bidrohi, I am the burning volcano in the bosom of the earth. I am the wildfire of the roots. I bring earthquakes on this board. I am the rebel eternal. I raise my hand beyond this board, high, ever erect and alone. I have seen such rebels in Bangladesh. Now, if we read these two pieces by Kazi Nazrul Islam, Anandamoy Agamone and Rajbandi Jabanbandi, we can certainly relate the contents of both these literary pieces to what we saw in Bangladesh from 2009 to 5th of August 2024. So you just read those two pieces and you relate them to enforced disappearances, killings in police custody, capital flight, and sacrificing or compromising the territorial integrity of our country in the interest of a neighboring country. You can relate both these literary pieces to those 15 or 16 years of mystery. Another strong relevance of Qazi Nazrul Islam to the July Revolution is it was after the July Revolution that Nazrul became officially the part of Bangladesh. Many of us may not realize it. All this while, Nazrul was not officially declared as the part of Bangladesh. It was only January this year that Nazrul became the official point of Bangladesh. And if we read to the Holy Prophet by Muhammad Iqbal, we can see how Iqbal has been talks about oppression, injustices, westernization, the selling of souls of intellectuals to foreign masters. So all these are very relevant to what we witness in Bangladesh. Okay. Now, I just want to say a few words about Muhammad Iqbal's relevance to Bangladesh. When India and Pakistan were created in 1947, in the Pakistani parliament, there were two women members. One is Jahanara Shahnawaz and Shaista Ikramullah. Jahana Shahnawaz represented Pakistan, West Pakistan. Shaista Ikramullah represented East Pakistan. In 1948, 1 year after the country was created, Shaista Ikramullah said this in the parliament. Sir, before I sit down, I feel that I must compliment the finance minister for setting aside a lakh of rupees for the Iqbal Academy. It is fitting that Pakistan in its first budget should pay this humble tribute to the man who gave the inarticulate dream of the Muslims a local habitation and the name and whose teachings brought self-respect, self-knowledge and self-confidence to Muslims again, so that his teaching should reach the whole of Pakistan. The last sentence is very important. Sir, the first work that this Iqbal Academy should do is to translate his works into Bangla. This was felt in 1948 when Iqbal Academy in Pakistan was established. And this is Shaista Ikramullah speaking in the Pakistani parliament. And soon afterwards, there has been a project funded by the Pakistani government to translate some of his works, and then it took off, and Syed Sajjad Hussain mentions dozens of writers who worked on Iqbal, translated his work and brought them to the audience in Bangladesh. Can you please the next one? Now, Nazrul Islam and Bangladesh. We all know that Nazrul was not born in what is now in Bangladesh. He was born in Churulia in West Bengal. And he wrote from 1920 to 1942. So he actually had no link with Bangladesh except for some visits. He studied for a couple of years in Trishul. He married a woman from Kumilla and visited Bangladesh on and off, but his literary activity was largely based in Calcutta. And he was brought to Bangladesh on the 24th of May 1972. And from 1942 until he died in 1976, Nazrul Islam didn't write a single line because he was disabled, he lost his speech, he couldn't speak, he couldn't write. So the only link that Nazrul Islam has with Bangladesh is Islam. If we delete or delink Nazrul Islam from Islam, then I don't see any relevance of this man to the country that we call Bangladesh. Now, I just want to tell you what happened in pre-July 2024 Bangladesh. Just to tell you, give you a sense of picture, like what happened in post-1971 and pre-July 2024. A recent example is Rajshahi University established the Institute of English and Other Languages in 2015. All major languages were taught except for Arabic. It was only after the July Revolution that Arabic was included in this institution. Korean, Chinese, French, English, and few other languages were taught. Forget about religion. Forget about the Quran and Islamic scholarship. All of them are in Arabic. Just on economic point, on economic ground, we receive the largest amount of foreign revenue from Arab countries. How much revenue do we get from South Korea? Korean was taught, but not Arabic. This is just one example. I give a personal anecdote to tell you how Bangladesh was in pre-July 2024. I took leave from my then employer, Harvard University, in 2009. I was in the University of Heidelberg in 2009 and 10 to do my postdoctoral fellowship. On the 10th of November 2009, I had a talk at a university in Britain, the University of Portsmouth. So since I was traveling from Heidelberg to Britain, I wanted to interview a Bangladeshi scholar who is an expert in my area, that is Muslim feminism. I wrote to this man, a Bangladeshi scholar with a Muslim name. Dear sir, assalamu alaikum. I am an assistant professor of English at Dhaka University and completed my PhD in feminist comparative literature from Portsmouth University in 2007. You may remember me, as I had few email correspondences with you while I was conducting my PhD research. Currently, I am at Heidelberg University on a research fellowship program working on a project titled From Rokia to Taslima, Trends in 100 Years of Muslim Feminism in South Asia. The reply came on the same day. Dear Mahmoud, frankly speaking, I do not remember you. If you are a religious person, as your greeting might suggest, you may not be able either to do the correct analysis or reach the right conclusion. This is the reply I got from a Muslim academic of Bangladeshi origin living in Britain, and I committed a crime because I said Assalamu alaikum. This was pre-July 2020 for Bangladesh. Now, I was not surprised at all because I read Frantz Fanon. Frantz Fanon wrote a book, Black Skin, White Mask, in 1952, and he said this: there are too many idiots in this world, and having said that, I have the burden of proving it. These kind of people who have sold their souls to foreign powers, Frantz Fanon calls them idiots. So I am not very separate. Now, I just want to rush because I think my time is very limited. Now, what happened to post 1971 Bangladesh? What it did to Iqbal? Iqbal was neglected. The Iqbal Academy, founded in the 1960s by Mizanur Rahman, could no longer function. Iqbal's name was removed from one of the residential halls of Dhaka University. This is what Sajjad Hussain said. Now, I need to rush, but I have plenty of things to tell you. Sajjad Hussain asked this question: did Bengal accept Islam as a gift from Pakistan? Is Islam as a religion from Pakistan? And now that we have quarreled with the Pakistanis politically, must we repudiate the entire heritage of Islam? Nothing could be sillier. Then he said, what happened in 1971 in Bangladesh was not a war against Islam, which was and is our common heritage. I for once fail to understand why it should prompt us to reject a common legacy. To try to do so is only to prove our utter immaturity as a people. Now, and then what happened to Qazi Nazrul Islam? We deleted the word Nazrul from Nazrul Islam College. Now, Syed Sajjad Hussain gives some examples. He says that between European countries there are two great wars. But none of those countries banned any of their writers. They are writers, musicians, artists, painters in Britain, in Germany, in Italy, in France, but none of them banned any of their writers. So this is what Syed Sajjad Hussain means by immaturity and our ignorance. Now I just want to conclude this speech with another anecdote. When I first arrived at Heidelberg University, it was on Friday evening, 31st of July. The university was closed by that time. So what the university did, they booked a hotel for me. It was Four Seasons Hotel on the River Neckar. So they would give me the key to my residence on Monday. Meanwhile, they gave me this hotel accommodation. On Saturday morning, after having breakfast, when I was walking around the river Neckar, I found this Iqbal Ufer. Iqbal Ufer means Iqbal embankment. So Germany, or the city of Heidelberg, they want to commemorate Iqbal, that Iqbal studied at Heidelberg. And he studied only for a couple of months in Heidelberg. And they have kept his memory preserved by naming this very prominent thoroughfare. That is the most prominent road in Heidelberg, Iqbal Ufer. And they also marked the residence where he stayed with full honor. They also engraved a poem that Iqbal wrote on one evening in Neckar. The title of the poem is One Evening in Neckar. So that was a shock to me, that this is what Germany did to Muhammad Iqbal, and we deleted his name from our university. So my appeal to the audience and to my younger brothers and sisters on whom I feel much hope, let us forget about the politics of name change. Let us not rename that particular hall after Muhammad Iqbal. That will not bring honor to Iqbal. What we need to do is to study Muhammad Iqbal, to study Nazrul Islam. That is hard work and that is needed. By the stroke of one brush, you can change the name of a hall, but that will not give honor to Muhammad Iqbal. I had many things to say, but I hope I'll write a paper, inshallah, and then you will read. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.